At 7:56 a.m. on a Monday, Claire Vance opened her inbox to a brutal surprise. The subject line was short: Transfer of responsibility, urgent. Inside was a forwarded memo, stamped with her department's logo, stating she would be removed as lead on the EcoBuild initiative, the same multi-million-dollar project she'd proposed, nurtured, and led for 18 months. She read it twice, then a third time. The name under New Project Lead? Rachel Vance, her older sister. Claire didn't scream, didn't storm into anyone's office. She just minimized the window and stared at her reflection in the dark screen. "Of course," she whispered. Her fingers trembled over the trackpad. That afternoon, while still processing the betrayal, her phone buzzed. A text from her mother, Elaine. "Family meeting, Sunday 3 p.m. Be on time." No hi, no context. Just a demand. Claire felt her stomach knot. The house hadn't changed. The porch still had the swing no one sat on. The same faded welcome mat, ironic now. But inside, the atmosphere was off. Too still, too curated. She stepped in and saw them. Her mother seated primly, Rachel beside her with a strained smile, and Jake, her younger brother, slouched, red-eyed but dry. Her stepfather, Craig, stood by the fireplace like a statue carved for intimidation. Two men in sharp suits sat confidently across the room, briefcases beside them. "Claire," Elaine beamed, standing. "Meet our family advisors, Mr. Harlan and Mr. DuPont. They're here to help us untangle things." Claire didn't move. "Untangle what exactly?" "Your grandfather's estate, sweetheart," Elaine said, syrupy. "We just want to make sure everything is fair." Claire set her leather folder gently on her lap. The will was clear. Rachel leaned forward. "Come on, Claire. You know Grandpa wasn't in his right mind." Jake didn't speak, just rubbed his hands over his jeans. One of the suited men opened his briefcase. "We've prepared a redistribution agreement. You retain 20% of the assets. The rest—" Claire held up her hand. "Let me stop you right there. This isn't a negotiation. It's an ambush." Elaine's eyes narrowed. "Watch your tone, Claire." "I am, which is more than I can say for this stunt." She gestured at the seating arrangement, one open chair placed squarely in front of them like she was on trial. Craig cleared his throat. "Don't be dramatic. This is for the family." "The family?" Claire let out a soft laugh. "Funny, because last I checked, the only one who ever treated me like family was Grandpa." A tense silence fell. Claire opened her folder. 6 months before his death, Grandpa updated his will. Fully lucid. I was there. He gave me everything, not out of favoritism, but because he trusted I wouldn't burn it all down. Jake looked away. Elaine's voice sharpened. Elaine's. "You don't deserve that company. You think spreadsheets make you worthy? That man built an empire. What have you built?" Claire's voice dropped. "Boundaries." Harlan shifted in his seat. "Miss Vance, a prolonged legal dispute could harm the company's image. This arrangement offers peace." Claire leaned forward. "Peace for who?" "Look," Rachel tried. "If we go public, it won't look good for you, especially after what happened with the audit logs." Claire's eyes narrowed. "What audit logs?" Rachel paused too long. Claire turned slowly to her. "What did you do?" Rachel shrugged, suddenly sheepish. "I mean, no one's saying you tampered with anything, but someone could. There were gaps. The board noticed." Claire froze. This wasn't just a family ambush. This was a professional takedown in progress, and Rachel had just admitted her part. Elaine's voice softened, almost pitiful. "Sweetheart, you don't want a scandal. Just sign. Keep some dignity." Claire inhaled through her nose, then pulled a crisp document from the folder and slid it across the coffee table. "Do you recognize that?" she asked, calm. Rachel's eyes scanned the paper, a credit card statement showing luxury purchases made during the week she'd claimed to be on medical leave for burnout. Elaine snatched it. "You've been spying on your family?" "No," Claire said evenly. "I've been protecting myself. and Grandpa's legacy, which none of you seem to care about. Craig stood, puffing his chest. You think this makes you strong? Claire didn't blink. She opened the final item in her folder, a sealed envelope labeled, "If they come for it, give them this." Her mother paled. Where did you get that? Claire smiled. From the study drawer, where Grandpa left it for me, next to the journal. You remember the one, right? The one where he tracked every dime you ever claimed was for Jake's college or family emergencies? Silence. Dead, heavy silence. Heavy. Claire stood, slow and composed. I'm not signing anything. I'm not stepping aside. And if you try anything else, legally, professionally, or emotionally, I promise, I'm more prepared than you think. Jake's voice broke through. Is it true? About the college fund? Elaine looked at him. Jake, don't. You said we had nothing, but you lied. Used my name. Claire stepped toward him. You don't owe me anything, but you do deserve the truth. Jake looked down. I didn't know. I did, Claire said softly, and that's why I brought ammo. She turned back to the room. I won't fight you, but I won't bend either. She walked out, her heels echoing against the hardwood. If you've ever been dismissed after giving your all, at work, at home, anywhere, type 1. You're not alone. Claire stared at her screen in disbelief. She had just logged into the project dashboard when a blinking red banner appeared. Access denied. Credentials revoked. Contact it. Her heart skipped. She refreshed the page. Same message. Again. Then her phone buzzed with a message from HR. Per directive from Risk Compliance, your access to EcoBuild has been temporarily suspended pending internal review. Internal review? She hadn't been informed of any inquiry, no warning, no official communication. Her fingers hovered above the keyboard, paralyzed. And then came the second blow. An internal email leaked to the company's Slack, unsigned, implying Claire had overstepped authority on vendor negotiations and failed to report budget discrepancies. It was vague, but loaded, just enough to start whispers. By noon, colleagues weren't making eye contact. By 3 p.m., her lunch buddy from HR canceled their weekly coffee due to a scheduling conflict. It was coordinated, deliberate, and Claire knew exactly where it was coming from. That evening, she sat on the couch in sweatpants, her laptop beside her but unopened. Liam placed takeout in front of her and gently asked, Do you want to talk about it? She shook her head. I reached out to Angela, he added. She said you can call any time. She's not the kind who sues for sport. She just wants you protected. Claire didn't respond right away. Her throat was dry. What if they're right? She whispered. Liam frowned. You didn't do anything wrong. I mean, what if they make it look like I did? The next morning, Claire met Angela Dwyer in a quiet office above a florist shop downtown. No glass walls, no intimidating decor, just plants, books, and warmth. Angela listened carefully as Claire recounted everything, the revoked credentials, the whispers, the family threats, the document from Harlan and DuPont. You're in a pressure campaign, Angela said calmly. Classic tactic, psychological war. But you're not defenseless. Claire nodded. So what do I do? Angela smiled. We prepare. Document everything. Screenshot. Record. If they want war, you give them evidence. By the end of the week, Claire had created a folder called Defense 01. Inside were voicemails from Elaine with veiled threats like, Don't make me escalate this, sweetheart. Screenshots of Rachel's Instagram post from a resort in Sedona, posted 2 days after claiming she needed emergency mental health leave. A memo from Claire's archived inbox that proved she had reported vendor adjustments, contrary to the accusations. Then came the final confirmation. Late Friday evening, Jake showed up at her door. Again, no warning. He stood awkwardly in the hallway, holding a folder. I found this, he muttered, handing it over. Inside, meeting notes from a strategy session, handwritten by Rachel, outlining a succession soft lobby plan and listing Claire as a public risk due to emotional rigidity. Claire looked up at him. You were in that meeting? Jake shook his head. No, but I found this in Mom's filing cabinet, hidden under old tax records. Why are you helping me? He hesitated. Because I didn't know what they were really doing, and you never used me. They did. She closed the folder, nodding. Thank you. Jake didn't stay. He left as quietly as he came. That Sunday, Claire received a new message from her mother. Just one line. Let's resolve this. Bring your paperwork. No signature, no emoji, just a digital snare. Angela frowned when Claire showed her. This smells like a setup. I know, but I'm not walking in blind this time. Angela reached into her bag and handed her a pen-sized recorder. Keep it on, and if you need me, one text. I'll be outside the house in 60 seconds. Claire arrived at exactly 2:59 p.m. The porch smelled like Elaine's perfume. Heavy, artificial, theatrical. The moment the door opened, Claire was greeted by smiles too wide to be real. The living room was arranged like a deposition. Rachel on the edge of the couch, Jake beside her, eyes down, Craig by the fireplace again, and Mr. Harlan and Mr. DuPont in tailored suits, documents ready. Only one chair sat across from them all. She took it. Elaine's voice oozed. Claire, we're just trying to find peace. Then stop attacking me, Mr. Harlan smiled. This isn't about attacks. It's about compromise. DuPont slid a revised agreement across the table. Claire didn't touch it. Rachel added softly, It's generous. You keep 15% this time. Claire raised an eyebrow. It was 20% last week. Generous in reverse? Elaine's face darkened. You're pushing us to act. Claire leaned forward. Do it. Let's talk about your actions. Like the anonymous email sent to Risk Compliance last week. Because I traced the metadata, it came from a device connected to Rachel's office VPN. Rachel's face drained of color. Claire continued. Or the deleted audit logs, which IT recovered. And surprise, they matched files you modified before I was locked out. Jake looked stunned. Wait, you did that? Rachel snapped. It wasn't sabotage. It was damage control. You were about to ruin the whole deal with Green Lux. Claire looked straight at her. That deal was based on fraud. You inflated projections to get a bonus you didn't deserve. Elaine slammed her hand on the table. Enough. This is family. Claire stood. No, this is business. And unlike you, I've kept records. She pulled a USB from her pocket and placed it in front of Harlan. Take it. Listen to the recordings, read the files, and then ask yourself who's really putting the company at risk. Harlan's face twitched. DuPont closed his folder without another word. Claire turned to her mother. You keep pushing. I keep documenting. Then, with her voice calm and final, one more stunt, and you'll be answering to more than just a lawyer. She walked out, her phone buzzing with a new message. From Jake, just one word. Sorry. If you've ever been surrounded by people smiling while plotting your fall and had to gather receipts just to survive, type 2. You're not crazy. You're just prepared. Claire opened her inbox and stared at the subject line, heart pounding. Vance Board Emergency Meeting. Ethics Violation Allegation. Confidential. Beneath it was an attached PDF, a formal accusation claiming she had exercised undue influence in securing her grandfather's estate and weaponized company data for personal defense. The sender? Anonymous? Claire's hand gripped her mouse. She knew who it was, and this time they weren't trying to persuade her. They were trying to erase her. Angela was already waiting in her office when Claire stormed in. They filed it, Claire said, tossing her phone on the desk. They actually went there. Angela opened the email, skimmed it, then looked up, unfazed. Good. This was the play I was waiting for. Claire blinked. You think this is good? Yes, Angela replied, because now we go on record. No more veiled threats, no more whispered lies. Now they have to prove it. Claire sank into the chair, silent for a moment. I don't want to keep fighting. I just wanted them to leave me alone. Angela's voice softened. Then let's finish it, once and for all. That Sunday, Claire walked back into the house she used to call home. It was exactly 3 p.m. Same porch, same faint perfume lingering in the curtains, same chair waiting for her, like a defendant returning to the courtroom. Her mother, Elaine, wore an emerald green blazer, power dressing thinly veiled. Rachel was pale, eyes darting. Craig stood behind them, arms crossed like a poorly cast bodyguard. Jake was there too, sitting stiffly, watching. The moment Claire sat down, Elaine slid a thick envelope across the table. "A final offer," she said. 50-50. We walk away, and this stays out of the press. Claire didn't touch it. Mr. Harlan and Mr. DuPont were not present this time. Replaced by a new woman in a navy suit. Corporate PR, Claire guessed. A damage controller. "We're doing this for the company," Rachel said weakly. "We all have reputations." Claire raised her eyes slowly. "You think I care about PR now?" Elaine tried again, gentler. "Sweetheart, we're family. Let's not drag this through the mud." Claire's hands stayed folded in her lap. "The mud," she said, "is already in the room." Craig barked. "If you were a decent person, you'd take the deal." Claire opened her bag, pulled out a manila folder. "I brought something." She removed a single document and placed it face up. Vance Company Internal Memo, 2019. It detailed Rachel's failed proposal to partner with Green Lux, and the internal vote that killed it. "Interesting," Claire said, flipping to the second page. "This version doesn't include the projected 12% drop in shareholder trust. I wonder why." Rachel swallowed. Claire laid down another item, a printed screenshot of Rachel's Slack conversation with a board member discussing ousting Claire quietly. Elaine's voice cracked. "Where did you get this?" Claire's voice was calm. "Jake's laptop. Guess you forgot he used to be IT support. Old habits." Rachel turned to Jake, horrified. "You gave her that?" Jake looked between them and shrugged. "She didn't ask. I just saw what was happening." Claire stood slowly, then pulled out one last envelope, sealed, hand-addressed in her grandfather's unmistakable script. "Claire, open only if they try to rewrite history." She placed it on the table but didn't open it. "I haven't needed it yet," she said, "but I will if this goes public." Elaine finally lost it. "You think Harold wanted you to have everything? You think this is what he imagined? You, corporate, cold, calculating?" Claire smiled. "He didn't choose me because I was warm. He chose me because I understood what it took to build something and not waste it on cocktail dresses and vanity campaigns." Silence. Rachel muttered, "This is low." "No," Claire replied. "This is organized." She turned to Craig. "Oh, and by the way, the house you're living in? It's technically under the Vance estate. I'll be sending a lease agreement Monday. Market rate." Craig stepped forward, red-faced. "You little—" Claire lifted her phone. "This conversation's been recorded. You're welcome to keep digging that hole." Craig froze. Jake exhaled, visibly relieved. Then Claire turned to Rachel. "You're talented. You just never learned how to use it without stepping on someone." To Elaine, she said only this. "You taught me not to trust anyone. Congratulations. That lesson finally paid off." She left the envelope on the table, untouched. Back at her apartment, Claire brewed tea while Jake scrolled through old trade magazines. He looked up suddenly. "You really think we can turn Vance Green into something real?" Claire leaned on the kitchen doorway. "I know we can. Grandpa had plans, thermal concrete, biodegradable insulation. He just never got the board to move." Jake smiled faintly. "No board now." She returned it. "Exactly." 1 year later, Vance Materials reopened under a new name, Vance Green Systems. Jake now ran the eco division. Claire was CEO. Rachel reached out sometimes, small, cautious messages. Claire responded, but only with boundaries. Her mother had disappeared into a different zip code, chasing another illusion of control. The legacy? It survived. And so did Claire, stronger, sharper, clearer. Harold's final journal entry read, "Claire won't always be loved for doing what's right, but she'll sleep at night." He was right. If you've ever rebuilt something from scratch after everyone tried to break you, type 3, this time it's your legacy.